So I'm gonna react to a shorts video that is relating to Tomi Lahren, some celebrity. I don't know anything about her. That doesn't know that Puerto Rico is part of the America because it is a U.S. territory, which means that Puerto Ricans are American citizens. But I guess let's check this out and see how bad this really is. Oh,
Think Bad Bunny is a good choice for the Super Bowl.
I'm not that knowledgeable about him, but it seems fine, and I don't know why it's a big deal. Seems like a great American artist, so sure,
He's
why
not an
not?
American artist, but
He's Puerto Rican. That's part of America, dear.
she's really, really stupid. So this is the Tommy lady, and she doesn't know that Puerto Rico is part of the U.S. is a U.S. territory. It's not the only U.S. territory, by the way. So keep that in mind. But U.S. territory means that it's part of the U.S. It's not a U.S. state, but it's still U.S. territory, which means that Puerto Ricans are literally U.S. citizens. They are Americans. Just because English may not be the first language in Puerto Rico does not mean it's not they are not American citizens. So if you're born in Puerto Rico, for instance, as a U.S. territory among others, you are a U.S. citizen. So the very fact that they having a problem with an American citizen showing up in Super Bowl and playing the halftime, but they have zero issue when there's a white guy from England, like Paul McCartney from the Beatles, for instance, that's an issue. It demonstrates that it's racism in the end. They're going after this person because of their ethnicity, race, and because they're not white enough, and they think they're not American enough because they're not white enough. It's a big issue with people who are ignorant and racist. That's really the whole thing about the Republican Party, which is why they keep voting for white supremacists like Trump, who followed literally the shit that Hitler has done that created the Nazis in the first place. And that's what Trump is doing, especially with ICE agents and militarizing the local police too, to the point of basically using them to assist ICE agents to go after anyone who's not white, even though they could easily be U.S. citizens, including indigenous Americans, which is fucking crazy. And Puerto Ricans are Americans; they're American citizens. Don't be like this lady, people. Really educate yourself. Understand that Americans are not just people born in one of the 50 U.S. states. U.S. territories also count; they're also U.S. citizens, so keep that in mind. And for the people who, because I read some comments of some extreme right wingers thinking that, oh, if Puerto Ricans are really Americans, why do they issue Puerto Rican passport books? That's actually a lie. So some people making up shit, whole conspiracy that Puerto Ricans get Puerto Rican passport books. That's not true. Puerto Ricans get U.S. passport books. They do not get their own version of a passport. They're American citizens. That is not true. So I've been reading comments of people making those ignorant, fake conspiracy theories about Puerto Ricans not being Americans. They get issued Puerto Rican passports, which are all lies. So if you read those things or you hear people saying this, please correct them. They're ignorant. They're wrong. That's not true.
yeah, you don't think you have any problem with him saying like the ICE is? Well, I'm sure you don't. Mother effers and sons of and that he's not going to perform here due to immigration.
America agrees with him on that. I
think
mean,
so?
majority of Americans think ICE has gone too far. They've watched videos of 79-year-old business owners be slammed to the ground and their ribs broken by ICE. So I think the American people are probably on board with that message at this point, Tommy.
But do you think that
Yeah, she's right. Most Americans, citizens and residents, are against ICE agents because of the way they're executing their operations. People are not necessarily against detaining and arresting documented immigrants and treating them in a very humane way, and they get deported back to their country of origin, not to fucking another country where they're being enslaved and all that. They get deported back to their country, which may or may not be safe for them, but at least to their country of origin, and they make sure they get back safely. You do it in a humane way. You don't freaking send ICE agents to a whole apartment building that happened recently, destroy people's apartments, everything they own, their furniture, house, steal this shit, and then claim that you're doing for ICE operations. That's very Gestapo. That's very Nazi type of shit, and a brown shirt type of stuff. This is something that Hitler did already back in the day in the 20s, 30s, and really grew up the shit out of it, especially in the 40s. This shit is all Nazi shit. This is all scheming to that. This is gonna cause a whole civil war if it keeps happening. No one wants a war because in the end, both sides are gonna lose a lot of people. Whether you're extreme right winger or you're a leftist or left wing type of person, there's always gonna be people in the middle who might be a little bit left leaning. Maybe they're moderate once it comes to uh, financial stuff, but they're socially leftist or liberal. People are very liberal, but they're socially left leaning, but physically conservative. A lot of those people are gonna suffer too, and it's not fair to anyone to suffer just because people are so racist that they bind them and xenophobic, sexist, misogynistic, so misogyny, so misogynist, things like that, and it's just unnecessary. Your hatred towards a whole group because all propaganda by the wealthy like Trump, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, so on. You get all this propaganda that all your problems are because of immigrants. It's because of the LGBTQIA plus community members. It's because of women, or it's because of people who are not white, or it's because of those poor whites of the issue, those trashy white trash people. They're destroying your town. Get rid of the homeless. Homeless people are the problem. They always shifting the blame on everyone else, and while the wealthy are the ones selling right from in your face. They're the exploiting workers. They're exploiting consumers, especially the whole tariffs, increasing the prices, so you pay more as a consumer for everyday groceries that you need to survive, or utilities you need to pay for to have a roof over your head, and rent you have to pay for also. But they keep increasing everything. You need to have electricity and all the utilities so you can survive. Clean water, cold hot water, electricity so you can be able to use electronics like your microwave, your refrigerator, your oven, which may or may not be electric based, could be gas based, but that could also be going up. So it's just so many things that are really bad. And I'm trying to explain to people: stop voting against your best interests. Don't hate someone just because of how they look, their gender, their sex, their immigration status, their lack of belief in your religion, or because they follow a completely different religion than yours. Those things shouldn't matter. You guys should work towards going after the common denominator of all issues, which is the wealthy. They are your enemy. If there is any enemy that is common among the billions of people on the planet, it's the wealthy. Those billionaires are your enemies. They're not your friends. And I keep saying this over and over so that people can wake up and stop voting for fucking billionaires into power like Trump. The guy doubled his fucking wealth just for being a fucking president again. Like, it's insane how people are so ignorant and ignoring all this shit. And then people like her can't even figure out why people think Americans are idiots. You don't even know your own country laws. You don't know your own U.S. Constitution. You don't know your own uh, principles, especially the principle of separation of church and state, which should be absolute. And you say shit like Puerto Ricans are not American citizens. You think they're not Americans. You think Bad Bunny's not an American when he is. He's more of an American than a lot of people who has shown up in the Super Bowl who are not fucking Americans. It's just crazy. It's just really racism. I don't think there's anything at the end of the video. I think it's repeating again, but we'll click on the video just one more time.
Bunny's a good choice for the Super Bowl.
I'm not that knowledgeable about him, but it seems fine, and I don't know why it's a big deal. Seems like a great American artist, so sure.
He's not an American artist.
Imagine saying this, saying that, that because Bad Bunny is Puerto Rican, that doesn't make him an American artist, when that makes him absolutely an American artist. You don't have to like his music. You can have pros and cons about it, but claiming that Puerto Ricans are not Americans is a big issue. But let me know in the comment section what you think about this. If you agree, disagree with me. I would, if you think Puerto Ricans are not Americans, I would definitely debate you and explain to you why you're wrong. But you can let me know why you think that, and I'll tell you why, just like why you're being incorrect. And we can go from there. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Watch this on TikTok, follow us on TikTok, and can support us on Patreon. Have a good day, guys.